Hi and welcome back to BookTube with Amy. This is going to be my most recent weekly wrap up. First of all, so as if you can hear some construction noises happening, we are finally getting progress on our library being built, which is very exciting, and there will be a full vlog of that coming, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But if you hear banging and drilling and it sounds like the house might be falling apart a wee bit, it's just because we're, getting our dream library built, no biggie. Also, just a wee bit housekeeping before we start. I have made the decision to come off of Twitter based on all the shenanigans that have been happening there recently. I originally went to Twitter because I didn't yet have my community tab, and I thought that it was a place where I could connect with you guys and where I could meet some other authors and some other booktubers who do this as well. And I have to say my experience of Twitter has been pretty positive, considering it's a bit of a cesspit at times. I enjoyed my time on Twitter and I met some really lovely people through it. I got close to a couple of authors through it who I'm hoping I will still be able to keep in touch with. But on this channel, I really talk about positive consumerism in nearly every single video. I really do believe that it has the power to make a difference, and that's why I talk about it, and I try to encourage you guys to shop positively. I'd like to think of myself as somebody who is pretty led by their values, and it wouldn't feel right for me promoting my content on a platform where Elon Musk is, hosting polls on whether Donald Trump should be allowed back on his platform after all the hatred he incited, and people like Andrew Tate's profiles were reinstated. Just didn't feel right, and I didn't really want to be associated with a platform that either of those are on. They are no posting valid opinions where there is room for debate or interesting chat. They post bigotry and misogynistic drivel. I was going to say shit there and pulled that back. And I just didn't want to be associated with a platform who hosts people like that. And I appreciate that no form of social media is perfect, but this feels like the right choice for me. And so I'm going to be using my community tab a lot more to be keeping you guys updated with any changes that are happening. And I just thought I would use it to try and communicate with you guys a wee bit more, and use that as a wee bit more a social platform than what I was doing on Twitter. For anybody who is wanting to get in touch with me, whether it's about buddy reads or whether it is about reviews, arcs, anything like that, my BookTube email is always linked in the description of all of my videos, and I'm more than happy to have people email me. If you just want to email me for a wee bit of a chat or whatever, if maybe we chatted on Twitter a bit and you don't have my number, grand with that, just send me an email and we can chat. Also, for the rest of the year, I'm only going to drop down to one video a week just because life is a bit mad. This time of year is just absolutely crazy at the best of times. So I'm going to go down to one video a week. I'm a wee bit disappointed by that because I've done 2 videos a week pretty consistently, other than when I took my week's holiday off. And it's not something I really made a focus to do this year, was to go up to 2 videos a week, but I did, and I managed it pretty well. I think maybe if I had pre-edited some content before the really busy Christmas period hit, I would have probably been able to maintain the 2 videos a week, but alas, it is what it is. So I dropped into 1 video a week for the rest of the year, but come January I'll be going back up to 2 times a week, although in January I'm going to be posting it 3 times a week because I will have all of my end of year content as well as sort of my plans for, the new year. Absolutely huge rambly intro aside, let's actually just chat about what I've been reading. So first of all, I read Deadlocked by Charlene Harris, which is the 12th book in the Suki Stackhouse series. Oh my god, 12th. Actually the live show has been done already, so I can talk about this for a change. This is going to be spoilery. It is the 12th book in a series, so literally anything I say about this book is going to be spoilers. So if you aren't interested in spoilers, just to let you know that As always, this was a 5-star read and I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. Please read these books. And then you can click away to when I start talking about the next book. So, 12th book in the series, the penultimate book, and we all binged it like super early. As soon as me and Ange finished the live for the last book, everybody unanimously started this either that night or the day after, and we decided, since we had all started it and all finished it as early as we had, to bring forward the live show a wee bit, because we didn't want to do the next one without having talking about this one, so that we didn't spoil anything for anybody, which wouldn't be fair. So we brought the live show forward, and I will link that down below if you want to check that out. But this is brilliant. So much happened in this, and again, like, I feel like I say it constantly, but I am forever shocked at the length of a Charlene Harris book and how much plot she manages to pack in, as well as just phenomenal character development. Absolutely fantastic. And it was just such a great book. Like, you feel like you know exactly where the story's going to go when you finish this book, and you're like, right, okay, I can obviously see how it's going to end, but you know, Charlene Harris being Charlene Harris, I doubt it's going to go the way that we think. But this was just such a great read. There was a couple of things in this book that annoyed me that I haven't really had in any of the previous books so far, but this book like made a lot of comments about Suki's weight, whether it was Suki herself, like her internal thoughts, or whether somebody else had said something and she was taking it about her weight, and like that really bugged me. And we've had a couple of things like that in previous books, but it's maybe been like one comment or something, like, which is fine. I can live with that, you know. Suki isn't a perfect character, of course she is going to see flaws in herself, and if her flaw is her weight, then like, fine, you know. But I felt like it really harped on in it in this book, more so than any other book in the series, which I felt was really weird, because like, it wasn't a dramatic plot point, like she wasn't pregnant or anything, so like, where like her commenting on her weight had like been building to something, there was a reason for it. There was none of that, so I didn't really understand why Charlene Harris made that choice in this book. So that was a wee bit off for me, and I really didn't enjoy that. I feel like Suki in this book was a wee bit frustrating at times. I think that she acted kind of immaturely at times, which isn't really a side of Suki that we've been able to see as much. But I mean, the girls had quite a life, so you know, after talking to the guys on the live show, I could probably give a bit of a break for that. I'm not going to say a huge amount plot wise, because I really didn't want to spoil anything too much in these books, but you know, the only thing that I'm going to talk about plot wise is about Suki's relationships. So we all started this series and we all had our own ships, and everybody as the story has went on has just doubled down and are still shipping those ships. Like, even though it is very clear that that's not going to happen and it's not how it's going to end, we are still all like holding out hope that our ship will prevail. I reckon that Suki is going to end up with Sam, because at the end of this book she saves Sam's life, and she is only able to save somebody's life using the mystical magical tool that she used to save a life if she loves them. And you know, she was able to save Sam's life, so she clearly loves him. I really fucking hate Sam, and I'm so upset about it, like really upset about that. He's a douche. He doesn't have any respect for her. He thinks that he can tell her who she can and can't sleep with, who she can and can't date, even though they aren't in a relationship. Like, he clearly has no faith in any of the decisions she makes for herself. Like, I hate it. I hate it. He's one of these nice guys, like, where thinks that, you know, Suki should put up for him because he's been around and they've been pals for years, and so therefore he deserves it. And that grinds my gears. Like, that's not how life works. That's not how love works. Away back into your hole and die. I don't want Sam to die, but you get my point. You get my point. This was a 5-star. It was great. We all jumped on to reading the last one right after the live show, so No doubt, you know, we're not going to be holding that out to December. We're probably going to finish that this month, but it's fine. It's been great, and you know, we've had a great bunch of guys reading it with us, which has been absolutely brilliant, and it's just been a great read. It's been a great time. And then I read The Secret Chapter by Genevieve Cogman. This is the 6th book in the Invisible Library series. So I was only planning to read 2 of this series this year, which I had already done, so picking this up was an extra. You know what, I had only planned to continue 2 books in my series, need to finish that challenge, but this had just been like eyeing us up. So you know I love this series by now, and I just needed to pick up the next one. So this one felt a lot darker in tone than the previous books have been. I mean, again, like, it's an 8-part series and this is the 5th one, so we're starting to, you know, really get to the crux of what's happening, and your characters that we've grown to love, you know, at this point are in grave danger in certain situations. So this was just like, hug me a wreck, to be honest. I was like all over the place reading this book. In this one, the world where Irene grew up with her parents is in danger of being corrupted by chaos magic, and in order to stop that from happening, she needs to retrieve a book. And the person who owns this book is an antiques dealer, and because there is now the treaty between dragons and fae, anybody who has signed that treaty cannot be stolen from. And this antiques dealer has very slyly signed the treaty so that they can't steal the book for him. And so they essentially need to come to a bit of a bargain. He's after this really rare painting for the past in Vienna in an alternate world, and he has says to a wee group of people, right, if you get me this painting, yous get the book, and yous can decide what to do with it. So Irene and Kai need to team up, and they join like a wee ragtag band, criminals, dragons, fairies, all sorts, so that they can try and get this painting, and then they can like get the book. And so as the story's progressing, we're finding out like why each individual person is also after this book. And we get quite a lot of plot development in this book in terms of the overarching storyline. And this book feels really dark because throughout the entire series we've had this looming character, Alderic, and he in this book is very much the mastermind behind everything that is happening, and you almost get a sense in this book that Irene is just totally playing into his hands. So it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, but there's sort of a development at the end of this book where a character we've previously saw die is back alive, and so, you know, there is a faction of society in a certain world that has learned to bring people back from the dead, or have learned to clone them, or like use really advanced robotics so that nobody knows that the person has died, which just flings like everything that we know into question, because we now are in a situation where we don't know who's real and who's not, who could have been placed in Irene's life to stir up trouble, who could have, you know, originally been dead and they've maybe been guiding her or steering her in a certain direction. So interesting and so creepy. This was a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. Irene and Kai are like fully together in this book, let me tell you, and I just loved that because they were my ship for book 1. I really adored them. I thought that their entire relationship has been amazing, and they love each other so much, and I'm so glad that they're together. I just wish they could get a happy ending, which I'm unsure is going to happen at this stage. And so because of how that one ended, I then went and picked up The Dark Archive, which is the 7th book in the Invisible Library series, but I didn't have the physical book because that is on a random bookcase somewhere in my spare room. So I just did this one on audio, and it was amazing. So this, we find out so many unanswered questions that we've had so far in the series, and there are going to be massive spoilers for the series here, so like, this was a 5-star read, absolutely loved it. Read the series. If you want to read them, bye, have a nice rest of your day. If you want the spoilers, stick about. So way back in book 1, when we first meet Aldrich, we find out that he had a daughter, and I pretty much pegged it that that was Irene. And then in the secret chapter, we find out that Irene is adopted, and so obviously she's his daughter. And then in the Dark Archive, we find out for sure she's his daughter. He uses blood magic, and she manages to break it, and he's like, you cannae, like you couldn't have broke that unless we are actually related. And so it turns out that he didn't know that she was his daughter either. I had sort of assumed at this point that he did know, and that's why he was trying so hard to, you know, get her to empathise with him, to see things from his point of view, to come and work with him, but apparently not. Apparently he was just as shocked by this development as her. But, you know, all these developments have put Irene in a pretty dark place, because it's the whole nature versus nurture debate. You know, is she a reflection of her adoptive parents in the library that she has grown up and sworn to protect, or is she going to be a reflection of her real dad, you know, who is a force for evil and chaos and goes against everything that she has held dear? And she's just really struggling with that at the end of this book, and I think that is definitely going to be a huge theme going into the last book. But this book puts Irene in some really tricky situations. Aldrich is in this book for the entire book, which was brilliant, because I actually really love him as a bad guy. He is like a great villain, and she's put in situations where she thinks she's the upper hand but actually doesn't, and needs to sort of come up with plans on the spot, which like goes against everything Irene is, because she is like very planned, very organised, very meticulous, likes to know everything that's going on, you know, think about every opportunities, do 27 risk assessments, and I live because that's me. And then, you know, she finds that she's no 10 steps ahead, and she needs to make some really difficult decisions. She needs to off the cuff some stuff, and ultimately they manage to get away at the end of this book. But, you know, Aldrich isn't dead, and so he's just going to come back bigger and better and stronger in the finale. And I really didn't know what the outcome is going to be. I feel like our main characters have been in quite a lot of really difficult situations, but we've not had any of them really die. And I didn't know if the last book is just going to be like all the feels because everybody's going to get killed off or no. But I'll definitely be picking up the last book shortly, because yet again, The Dark Archive was a 5-star for me. It was absolutely fantastic, and I just can't wait to see how the series wraps up. It has been one of the best series that I have read this year. I mean, I'll rave about it constantly on the channel. I raved about it after I read the first one, you know, because it was just so brilliant. The world is so amazingly crafted. The magic system is so intricate and so interesting, and, you know, you almost learn the magic system anew in every single book, because it really is dependent on what type of world they're in and what the core magic system in that world is. And, you know, the characters are just fantastic. They really do feel like my friends at this point, because we are so late in the series, and I feel like I know the decisions that they would make and the thoughts that they would have, because we are just that close. It was just absolutely phenomenal, and I really can't wait to finish the last one, but I also really didn't want to. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying everything that you're reading at the moment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!